ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. The Bahamas currently competing in 2 disciplines at the Central American and Caribbean Games in Colombia. We get an update tonight from Kelsey Johnson.
What a way to bring in your birthday, striking gold. Joanna Evans proved that she's in a class of her own, capturing her 3rd gold medal of the Games hours before she celebrates her 21st birthday. Evans clocked 8 minutes 44.53 seconds for the win ahead of Alison Marisa Alba of Mexico, who turned in 8 minutes 45.92 seconds. The win in the 800-meter free came minutes after Evans competed in the 200 IM.
I went and swam the IM, and that was kind of a fun race, and then we swam the 800. It was hot, but hey, a medal is a medal, and then we got that relay done. That was a good way to end the meet for most of us.
It was a quick turnaround for Evans, who was 4th in 2 minutes 17.45 seconds. Margaret Aubrey-Higgs finished 5th in 2 minutes 19.30 seconds.
I didn't do as well as I hoped to this morning, so it was a good morning swim, but I knew I had to pick it up a little bit during finals. I really worked the walls off of backstroke and freestyle, so that was pretty much my game plan, and to finish the last 50 free as well as I could.
Higgs and Evans teamed up with Lily Higgs and Laura Molly in the 4x100-meter freestyle relay. The quartet was 4th overall in 3 minutes 54.95 seconds. Anna Fernando competed in the B final of the 100-meter butterfly, posting 54.58 seconds for the win.
It's a huge accomplishment for me, and I'm interested to see where I go after I get a little bit of training under my belt. But it was a really good swim, in my opinion. Fastest I've ever came back in the second 50 of my whole entire life. Felt more controlled, and it's just a smarter race. I swim a smarter race today, so I'm interested to see where I get in the future.
A 4-member team representing the Bahamas in sailing at this edition of the Central American and Caribbean Games. Veteran sailor Jimmy Lowe sits at the helm and leads young and upcoming skippers like Michael McSweeney, who he is partnering with in the Snipe Open Series. Paul De Sousa is also here. He's competing as well as Spence Cartwright. The quartet struggled throughout the competition and were hoping to ride the waves to victory today in the final day of competition.
Yeah, it's been a really tough regatta for all of us. The conditions have been extremely windy. We've had up as high as 27 knots at some days. And I think that our biggest fault is that we just weren't totally prepared for the extreme winds that we experienced. We were told originally that we're going to have winds from anywhere from 8 to 12 or 15 miles an hour. And I think we had one race like that, which is unfortunate, but you have to be prepared for everything. But we're giving it our best. We're hanging in there. We have some good races, some bad races. And today's the last day, so hopefully at the end of the day, everybody will be happy. I can tell you that everybody gave their all, that's for sure.
McSweeney, Lowe's partner, spoke about his experience at the Games.
It's very, very windy, and the Snipe itself doesn't really handle those conditions very well. So we've had a couple breakdowns, and unfortunately it's kind of put us in the back of the fleet, and we have no way to recover it. But I mean, besides that, I've been having a lot of fun out here, and it's good hard work and all that, but it's rewarding.
De Sousa had to make a few adjustments while out on the water.
I've had 2 breakdowns, just like the Snipe has, and it's been really windy, which we haven't trained in a while, just because during the summer there's not as much breeze back home. So it's been a bit of a, I wouldn't say a shock, but I mean, it's been different than what we've been used to recently, so we've had a tough time with it.
The Bahamas is out of medal contention, and the sailors are using the experience as a lesson learned ahead of Olympic qualification. Reporting from Barranquilla, Colombia, where the 23rd edition of the Central American and Caribbean Games is taking place, I'm Kelsey Johnson, ZNS Total Sports.
President of the Bahamas Olympic Committee, Romel Knowles, didn't make the trip to Colombia for the CAC Games, but he is keeping a keen eye on the competition, and he likes what he's seen so far, especially from Joanna Evans.
The CAC is not an easy competition in swimming. You have some of the world best in Latin America and the Central and America and the Caribbean. So it's a quality win. There's a lot of pressure to win in this business, right? And so gold medals are not easy to come by. And so when you get them, you cherish them.
The BOC president also commented on the rumors that were circulating on social media earlier this week, which implicated quarter miler Stephen Newbold being involved in that brazen robbery in Grand Bahama.
I really can't say what I want to say on television, right? But it's sad, right? Here it is. You have a young, talented athlete on his way to Panama, leaving family and friends to go and represent the country. And to have some idiot on Facebook do this to his family and to him, you know, the mental, he's taking it very well, by the way, but that mental pressure, that mental stress, because I understand that perhaps the authorities are already looking for him. That's not called for. And I think people ought to be more responsible on social media. And I'm so sad for his family. I mean, and it's just sad. It's a terrible thing. And I hope the authorities do something about it, though, because we got to put a stop to this nonsense.
Before heading to the CAC games this morning, our men's national softball team taking to the diamond last night for a warm-up against New Providence Softball Association All-Stars. The result wasn't the one the national team was looking for, as they lost 4-3.
I didn't get exactly what I wanted because I couldn't get the guys from the islands, from Freeport and from Abaco in. But tonight at least I have Lyle here. He's going to throw a couple of innings just to stretch out and get ready and get used with the team players. It'll be the same thing with Thomas, who had a late start in the season. He'll be able to throw and get in the season. Like I said, my two guys from Freeport, they're not here, which will be, you know, help me in the infield a lot, but we'll do something when we reach out in Columbia.
As for the expectations for the team once they reach the games,
I think we look into medal. Anything less than a medal, it would be a little letdown for us, because I know we capable of doing it. 1 through 9, and even the others we have with our pitching that's deep. You know, we should look to medal on this trip.
We're going out one game at a time. We know this tournament is going to be tougher than the last one we're going to. So we're hoping that we don't make the mistakes that cause us to lose 3 good games down in Dominican Republic. So we hope we keep everything together, make less mistakes. These type of tournament, you don't score much runs in them.
We're trying to win it all, and hopefully we do. We get Alcott Forbes, we get Lyle, we get Thomas Davis, we get Jeffrey Woodside, we get Martin Burrows, we get all the pitching we need. There's no reason why we shouldn't do it.
Some of the players will play for these countries, you know, different times out of the year. They play in the US, they play in Canada, and right now they could be back home representing their country. So we got our work cut out for us, and we know that, and we prepared for that.
Softball, not the only team sport the Bahamas will be competing in at CAC. As Charles Fisher tells us, the 242 will also be looking to make its presence felt on the hardwood.
Team Bahamas has been practicing together for the past month. First time the Bahamas will be represented at the CAC Games in basketball. This team different from the one that represented the 242 at the recent World Qualifiers. Robert Knockman was part of that team and sees a lot of differences.
I feel this is a pretty cohesive team. Everyone in this team works well together. We all work hard. We're very versatile. And there's a lot this team can bring. We have a lot of intensity, a lot of energy, and a lot of size, so I feel pretty good about this team. The chemistry has been really good. Like off the court, we're a very close group, and that helps us on the court. So there's things we need to work out. We can talk about it, and we can come to a solution, so it's really good.
Kentuan Smith plays professionally in the Czech Republic. Likes the style of play this team will bring.
I feel pretty good about this team. You know, it's a nice up-tempo practice, a lot of energy, a lot of athleticism, a lot of versatility. I feel like as many teams that I've been on, this has been the most energetic team, so it was more fun to play with them. We cause a lot of disruption. We get up under people and try to defend a lot harder.
17-year-old rookie and first time on a senior basketball team, Samuel Hunter, brings a lot to the table.
It's good and fun to play with other players and players older than me, because I learn a lot of stuff and I see where I need to get stronger because they bully me sometimes.
How do you feel the chemistry the team is so far?
Yeah, I feel like we're energetic. We play a lot of defense, we run, and it's just been fun playing with these guys.
Assistant coach Trevor Grant.
What I noticed lately, they've been coming together as a unit. Before it was like individual, but now we're coming together as a unit. And I told them the strength of this team is to know where you're strong in, what area you're strong in, and know your pairs. Right now we can match up with bigs, we can match up with wings, and we can match up with point guards. The team is well-rounded, and then most everybody what's on this team have some ball handling skills. So if we fall short in one area, we can always implement somebody else from the next area.
The team leaves Thursday for the games. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
From the WNBA, Jonquel Jones ending the first half of the season with a big game, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, to lead the Connecticut Sun by the Washington Mystics 94-68. The Sun head into the All-Star break and even 14-14. Unlike last year, Jones not selected to the All-Star game, which we played on Saturday. And that will do it for sports. Stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight comes back after the break.